Today's class is for burnout, so we are going to do a little bit of restorative yoga. So restorative yoga may feel like yin, but unlike yin, it is completely passive. So once we get ourselves set up, you're going to sink in and just let happen. Okay, I have a whole ton of props here today. A chair, if you do not have bolsters. If you don't have a bolster or a big pillow, something with, a lot of kind of size to it, the chair is going to be super helpful. A bolster, if you have one, a blanket, it could be any kind of blanket or towel, and blocks. So if you do not have any of these props and you do not own a chair in your house, you can lean up against the couch. You can use a coffee table. You can do it without, although there's something to be said for having the props when you're doing restorative. We are only going to do 2 poses today, and there's going to be a lot of space. If you want some music playing in the background, go ahead and turn that on. I am going to go ahead and get set up for our first shape. So our first shape is deer sit. I'm going to use a blanket today for this, because it just gives me a little bit of extra support. Now you're going to take your, doesn't matter which leg, one leg across the top, so the shin is across the top of the mat, and then the second is going to go behind you. So the knee is fairly in line with the hip, this knee is in line with the hip, the shin is in line with the front of the mat, this shin is in line with the edge of the mat. And I just place my hand on my blanket, or my leg on my blanket. Now, if it feels uncomfortable to you, feel free to pull that heel in as much as you need to, or even not use a blanket underneath, okay? So we're going to start out now. As I'm still cold here and not working into this yet, my right hip is right up off the mat, and that's okay. It's not important that hip or that butt cheek comes all the way down, just that you're getting close there. And try to sit up nice and tall here. Relax your shoulders. We're going to take a big in breath through your nose and an out breath, again, through your nose. Just bring the hand to the side and go ahead and take a nice side lean. Inhaling all the way up and over. Now this is probably enough, or you can come down onto your forearm or your elbow. Relax your shoulders away from your ear. Go ahead and bring that top hand down to the mat, and we're just going to slowly sweep across, pausing in the front. And then come over to the side. So now this hand is going to come to the outside edge, and you're going to lift the other arm up and over. Now you can use your shin to help you here. Looking down. Looking up is going to create some tension, so just look down. And then go ahead and exhale. Both hands come behind you and lean back slightly. Come on back up through center. Now, this is where having that bolster handy is going to be handy. So taking the bolster over to the side, finding your way back to that shape, turning and looking towards the other end of your mat here, and coming down either onto the bolster on your elbows, or if you have the space, all the way down so that your head comes onto the bolster. So this is a twist, and this top hip is going to come off the ground somewhat. So we're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So just settle in, find a way to get comfortable. You can turn your head to one side. And let a whole lot of nothing just sweep over you. If you need something to focus your mind on, you can count the beats of your breath. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4. To finish up, if your head is turned towards one way, just turn it towards the other side. And then go ahead and use your hands to push you back up. Sliding this bolster to the other side of the mat. Sliding your blanket to the other side of the mat. Or you can flip around. And then we're just going to take this deer sit on the other side. So again, the shin across the top of the mat, making this little Z shape. And don't worry about it if one side is way more tight than the other. Bringing the hand to the mat right by the hip, reaching up, maybe looking down towards the mat. Relax your shoulders. Next, exhale. Go ahead and slide that top hand down to the mat. And then slowly come across the front, melt over the shin. Let's keep traveling. Bring the bottom hand over and then open up. So one direction is going to give you a little bit more tension than the other. We're just stretching here. And then bring both hands down. Start to lean back. Lift the heart. Let the head fall back. And then come on back up through center. Setting your bolster. Turning so your shoulders are square on the bolster. And then sliding down. Turning your head probably towards one side that's more comfortable. If it feels okay, you can put your forehead right on the mat or on the bolster. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you're just going to come down onto your forearms. Returning to that gentle breath, counting the beats of your breath. Let yourself have some space here. You don't have to fill up every moment with thought. Go ahead and turn your head to the opposite side if that feels good. Come on back through center and then sit back up. So I am going to turn and face the long edge of my mat. We're going to wrap up with a forward fold here. So this is where the chair comes in handy. If you don't have a bolster, you'll bring your chair right in front of your head so that you can come down over the seat of the chair, putting your forehead on the seat. Now, if you have a bolster, we're going to set ourselves up. So you're just going to bring your feet about as wide as the mat and bring the bolster in between your legs. I'm going to take one block and put it underneath the bolster. And then I think today, maybe using that blanket to give me just a little bit more here and leaning into the bolster. Now you're not trying to get your biggest forward fold ever. You're just settling in, resting the head on the bolster, finding a little forward fold. If you have a little bit more to give, you might have a lower bolster here. And if that still feels like a little much, you can put your block there. Go ahead and just settle in. Don't worry about anything else. Be super heavy on your props and your mat and the floor. Taking the space to find a little bit of ease, a little bit of nothing. Allow the stillness to wash over you. There are zero expectations here in this shape. Taking 3 more breaths in complete stillness. Slowly using your hands to push you back up. Moving the props off to the side. Finding your way into your seat that feels good. Let your hands rest on your knees. Tuck your chin slightly towards your heart. Just notice Feel whatever it is that stillness has given you. Maybe starting to bring some gentle movement into the neck. Maybe bringing hands behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. Take a big in-breath. And then exhale your way back into your seat. Taking as long as you need in any of these shapes, just one at a time if you've got the time, or doing both of them together, both sides. Finding a little bit of stillness in the chaos, helping you to just be with no expectations and no judgment. Finding your way clear of the burnout. Thank you for joining me today. Have a fabulous rest of your day, yogi. Namaste.